Hi, you're listening to the Flow State Fishing Podcast.
What do you mean?
There's fucking 2 Sheilas in a boat.
Right, Bono Atmos. We are brought to you by Rod Armour. High quality protection for your rods and reels, as well as plenty of accessories. Get to www.rodarmour.com. Suss the boys, great fellas, great local company. We are also brought to you by Evertread. Fully customisable, non-slip EVA foam matting. Multiple applications, most commonly used on boat flooring and cast decks. Absolutely amazing stuff. Get to www.evertread.com.au. And shouts to Fibre Finish, your one-stop composite shop for everything from boat rebuilds to resin art. Get to www.fibrefinish.com.au or drop into the shop in Townsville. We are also brought to you by castmag.co. High quality content creation, high quality apparel, as well as cast tackle. We're talking pop tier drop poppers, stick baits. We're talking jigs, decoy terminals. It's all there. Get to the website, www.castmag.co. We're back with another episode, trying to keep the content pumping for you guys who are all in lockdown. All of us are doing it pretty tough. So while you're sitting at home, may as well have a listen and laugh. This episode, we are talking with Jim's Fishing, at Jim's Fishing on Instagram, at Jim's Fishing on YouTube. Great, knowledgeable guy, very analytical fisho, does a lot of stuff up here in the north. Fishes, he's been in Townsville for the last 10 or so years. And yeah, really, really great guy. We delve into the depths of Barra, we talk jacks and general fishing in the north. We also touch on the infamous 4-pound comp up here. It's getting bigger and bigger every year. So yeah, get around it, give me some feedback, let me know what you think.
I just gave away all my spots.
Whoa, yell at the mic.
I just gave away all my spots and Wade didn't record, so you can blame Wade for that.
Yeah, sorry, what were you saying? You've been fishing the northern side of Hinchy?
Yes.
With what lures?
Yes. No, I've just stayed away from the dirty water because it doesn't suit my style of fishing.
Yep, because you're doing a lot of side casting and a lot of high tide stuff, hey?
Yeah, so when you have the dirty water, obviously you can't fucking see them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I've just been doing that. I love Lucinda end. It's really good.
Yep.
But I thought, you know what, try something new.
And you find them?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, finding them in the usual haunts that I would normally go to. I haven't been there for years, but I'll go back there. Yeah, they're there.
Yep.
Getting a few. As I said before, it was quite easy going up there in the morning, get a few barra, and you can be home by 8 o'clock.
Yep.
You can go and get McDonald's breakfast. Well, that's all day now, I suppose. So. That used to be the same.
Yep. And predominantly targeting what?
Barras at the moment.
Yep. Yep. Might be just because season, because you're a heavy jack fisherman, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. Jacks are, to me, jacks feel like, I don't know, they're, how do you say it? They are a fish, to me, that will not give a fuck. They will not give an inch, man. And I feel like I can target them on top water all day.
Yep. Really?
Yeah, all day. It doesn't have to be early morning or dusk. I've got them all day and consistently all day.
Big jacks?
Big jacks. Biggest I've got on surface and on 4-pound was 52 centimetres.
That's a good jack, man.
Yeah, and that was in the
A
snags.
4-pound jack, like, how do you get them out on 4-pound?
You don't. It's you don't stop them. That's it. For starters, you don't stop them. Done. 4-pound line, you're not stopping shit. Let's be honest. It's how you get them out. Once it's how you react after.
You let them in there, let them back home.
We're not letting them. They're getting in there. They're doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's like a game of chess afterwards.
Yeah,
you just
right.
got to work it out. You know, braid's not gonna. It's up here. Braid's not gonna rub through on timber.
Because it's like, soft sort of.
Yeah, soft mangrove.
Full of barnacles.
As soon as you've got barnacles, a hard structure, you're fucked. You're gone. But up here, they can get you all the way back into the mangroves, and it's just a game of picking them out. I've even found free spawn on them, man.
Yep.
Let the pressure off, and sometimes they come straight back out.
Yeah, righto.
And it's just losing. It's losing your cool under pressure. That's what happens when you lose a fish. That's how you lose the fish.
Yep.
Once you're snagged, everyone pulls tight, jiggles it. whatever, pulls the line, tries to break mangrove roots and whatever, trying to get that fish to come out. Free spool it, take the pressure off, just see it. What's the worst it can do?
Yeah, true. Yep. So
it can go back further in there, but what difference does that make? You've already locked. You're already in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Yeah, righto.
So that's
I'm heavy. Like, I struggle with that sort of stuff. Sort of started to get away from just min coating along a bank and just grinding, blind casting, like that stuff. I just fucking would rather go and find. I know you can't, like, Jax is different. You can't really do that, but Barra especially. Like, I'd rather go and find Barra on a sounder, and know I'm casting at something, instead of just casting my ass off all fucking day.
Man, snag bashing feels like it's so like late 90s, early 2000s.
And you don't get fish, man. Oh, no, that's a lie. You don't get consistent big fish. I don't.
There's a mixed bag. You snag bashing cod, brim, archerfish, jacks,
shit,
whatever, man. The school of Barra sitting in metres of water. There's a fair chance the only thing you're going to get is a damn Barra.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, and that's the sort of fishing I like doing. I love like fishing vertical off the back of the boat.
Yeah, definitely.
Like fishing vertical, jigging, vibing.
Man, you know they're there.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'll find myself doing that now when it comes to Barra.
And you just turn your spot lock off, drift back over, make sure they're still there. Yep. Go back to spot one.
Yep. Do you think that the beam though?
100%.
The beam does affect them?
Yep, 100%. I would rather. I've got a through hole transducer.
Yeah.
And I turn it off.
Yeah, okay.
I can hear the fucking thing up in the boat. Tick, 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 tick. And if you put it on like high chirp, it goes like tick, tick, tick.
So it sounds like a transformer on a fucking pole or something.
Yeah, it's fucking loud, man.
Yeah, I remember I had my sort of mega imaging on my transducer fell off the back of the boat. I picked it up.
Yeah.
It was still running, and I felt it in my hand, and it actually felt like my knuckles were breaking, kind of thing. It felt like an
because it's sound. It's sound.
Yeah, it hurt, man, and I was like, oh, something. Like I just thought I got a cramp.
Yeah.
Oh, my hands hurt, and I was like, okay, cool. Put my hand, picked the tranny back up, boom, feel it again, and I was like, that's something in that. I'm thinking if I can feel that in my hand, fucking surely fish can.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they do feeling vibration and shit.
Yeah. Well, the lateral line as well. Imagine that. Fucking that'd be tweaking.
Yeah, it can't be good.
Yeah.
It can't be good. I agree. But that like Barra is the shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's much better. And it's the same almost no matter where you go. Like, do you find if you want to target consistent big fish, so say 80 plus, that when you find schools and you look for them differently, you target them differently, and then you find the schools and then they're all that plus. Like, you never get shit in amongst them. It's always one or the other. But if you snag bashing or hit flicking drains, you might get
it's a lucky tip.
50s, 60s, 50s, 60s,
Man,
70, 90,
those
metery,
big
90,
fish
80.
that you sand up can ruin your whole day. Like, they have ruined my whole day personally, where I've sanded up big fish.
Yeah.
Right. And you go, yeah, they're big fish, and you sit on them.
Yep.
And I've sat on them all day. Like, not, the old saying, like, don't leave fish to find fish. I was just like playing in the back of my mind, don't leave fish to find fish. They'll bite. Went through fucking 2 tide changes.
And nothing. And they stay there the whole time.
They stayed there the whole time. Weird, they changed. They moved around.
But
and every
in
time
similar area.
Similar area, and they changed the way they were sitting, and they were all like sitting different ways. And I thought, here we go, bite time. Whether it was just I was using the wrong lure at that bite period, and they didn't tick. That's whatever. That's on me.
Yeah.
But I sat there for 2 tide changes a whole day.
So did you target them when they were moving?
I targeted them. Did you misread what I said? I targeted them all day. They were moving. So when they were in this one spot, I'll say they were in a water. I was sitting there, I thought, fucking righto, got them. Yep. To the point where I kept moving back around and scanning over the top of them to make sure that they're still there.
100% Barra.
Yeah, 100% Barra, right?
Yep.
Because the first time it happened, I found that school, I caught a little gold spot cod. And then as I got the gold spot cod up, 2 meteries came up and had a look at the gold spot cod. So naturally I fed the gold spot cod down and tried to get them to eat it. They wouldn't.
Nothing.
And I was like, okay, so they are big fish.
Yep.
Right, and the more you get to know your sounder and you start catching fish elsewhere, you know, okay, you pick the size. Okay, that's, between, 90 and 70, whatever, depending on how they sharpen the beam. These fish, man, they sat there, right, and I'm like, yeah, sweet, cool. I'm pretty sure after I finished left, after I spent a whole day there, the ground was at least 30 centimetres deep from my lures hitting the fucking ground, making divots.
Yeah, right.
They moved. They didn't move more than 25 metres around, right?
Yep.
With the tide change, I thought, here we go. And then I scanned them again. Like, I try and only, because of that whole scanning and fucking them up, I only tried to scan them once. That's where they are.
Turn the sander off.
Turn the sander off, angle the boat differently.
Yep.
I try and put them in front of the boat, you know, like,
Yep.
I'm used to fishing from the front. So I put them in front of the boat. Sweet, that's where they are. Nothing. Go back up, scan them. Okay, they're there. Come back, change lures. Cast, nothing. Change lures, cast, nothing.
Yep.
I did that, no joke, for about 10 hours.
Yeah, righto. And not a fish.
Not
No bump?
No bump.
Nothing.
Not a bump. Not even accidental.
What do you reckon?
Fuck the mono. To the point where I nearly went to a tackle store to buy a 12-foot drawstring.
Just to see.
Just to cast over the whole and say, are you actually there, or someone put cardboard cutouts down there? You know, like, what the fuck's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
they were, and I've been to this school of fish. I've been tracking the school of fish because 9 times out of 10 they're in this spot, and I can't work out why. And then there was one time, it was during the close season, that I was like, okay, I'll just scan past, right? Oh yeah, they are there, sweet, whatever. Or I'm targeting jacks. Sweet, so I moved, targeting jacks, got a few jacks, sweet as, moved on, and it's on the way home, so I thought, I'll just see, you know, like, so I'm trying to study these fish. I'm trying to find out where they're going. They weren't there, and I'm thinking, okay, tide's doing this, tide's going out, where are they gone? Whatever. So I thought, this bank looks really good for my jacks on surface. So I'm like, yep, sweet as. So I chuck out the old pop frog, whatever, cast. And I caught a jack, and I was like, yeah, sweet. And then when I was fighting the jack, I spooked 2 metre plus barra that was sitting at the base of these trees.
So we're talking shallow?
Well, it kind of drops off. It drops off quite sharp. So there was maybe a metre behind the mangroves of water where it comes out, and then it drops down to about...
Yeah.
And then it kind of, where the boat's sitting, it's about the water. So it's a gradual drop. So you'd think, I would have thought that being big fish, they'd just cruise along that edge in the water.
And feed, yeah.
But they weren't, they weren't feeding.
They were just sitting up.
I didn't see them feeding.
What?
They were sitting in the snag, and I'd spooked them where two of them took off, and I was like, what the hell? And then I saw it further down.
Same
thing.
So was it water temperature that they were sitting up? What do you think? Why were they sitting up there?
I don't know.
I want to ask what time of year, but that opens a lot of...
Well, no, it's close season, see?
Yeah, righto.
Yeah, so we know it was summer months.
Yeah.
Water temperatures are.
So they're sitting up high.
They weren't feeding. Well, not that I was targeting them, but they weren't feeding. They spooked off.
Yeah.
And not once did I see them feed or hear them feed along this bank.
Yep.
It was weird. The jacks were there. The jacks were thick in a couple of these big trees that were standing in the water.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the barrel was there. I don't know, man.
Does your head in, eh? Big barra do.
Yeah, so then I thought, okay, sweet, at least I know which way they go. So you go back there, you know, you try and mimic those tides. Sweet.
Yep.
This is the stage where I wasn't really checking barometric pressure or anything like that.
Do you reckon tides are like the very smallest slither of information you need?
Small slither or a bit?
Like, do you reckon there's like so many more pieces to the puzzle than just like...
I hope not.
No, well, are tides the big, like probably the biggest... Imagine as a piece of pie or whatever. Yeah. Are tides the biggest wedge? Is moon the biggest wedge?
I'd like to think, well, tides and moon are obviously directly linked. So I'd like to think that they're even. If they don't make up at least half of that pie, well, then there's a lot of pieces I'm missing.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't take into account those things.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that all these, they're really good fishermen, you know, that take into account, like...
Everything. But they're site specific too, so...
Exactly. But if I took into barometric pressure, tide and moon, right, and wind, right, so you had those 4 things, if I looked at that every time I went fishing, right, and one of them was out, would I not go fishing then?
Well, probably I wouldn't. I would.
Exactly.
Go fishing still.
Or would you know going fishing that you know that you haven't got all the pieces of that puzzle for that spot and then go there and go...
No, but you'll get more stuff that you didn't even think you knew.
Information, exactly. So I try not to limit myself in the back of my mind works really weirdly. I try not to limit myself with things in that retrospect where it's something that, you know, you're not setting up to fail before you start, but I don't want an excuse in the back of my mind before I've even started. Like, I don't want to, the barometric pressure's not that good today, so I'll go fishing, but if I don't catch anything, that's because of that.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yep, correct.
Go fishing when you get the chance. I like to go, you know what, that works for me that day, and I'll try and, I'll remember these tides. Oh, what was the moon doing? Oh, the moon was doing that. Sweet. I'll try and next time.
Have you ever had a really good session on a similar situation of big fish?
On big fish?
Like that? Like, so say you fucked around for 10 hours, didn't get a bite. Have you had a session on those similar fish?
No.
Like similar situation?
No. I've put...
There's obviously... Because you can't tell me that they just don't sit there for fucking 2 weeks and not eat. You cannot tell me that.
Mate, I've put 100 hours on them in 12 months.
And never got a session
I've got 3 bulbs. I'm not even joking.
They have to feed.
I hear what you're saying. Do you eat all the time?
No, but...
Exactly. Do you eat in the one spot?
No.
Exactly.
But where else?
Well, I haven't figured that part out yet.
No, I know. Well, I know
that's
that.
That's the thing, man.
I know that. What I'm trying to do is trying to figure it out.
It sucks, man. I don't... Every time I go past this school of fish, I always think to myself, you know what? Today might be the day where I nail that bite, period. It'll be accidentally, but this will be the day that I nail them.
Yep.
And then I'll be able to work it out.
Yeah.
So inadvertently, I go up to Hinchinbrook with a plan. I'll launch from, here. I'll go up. I'll work the incoming tide in these spots. I'll work the top of the tide in these spots. I'll work the turn and the outgoing tide. I'll work the low tide in these spots. So you're not going back and forth.
Yep.
Hinchinbrook's a massive place.
Yeah, I'm empty. Yes, please.
Hinchinbrook's a massive place.
Yeah.
If you don't go up there with a plan, you're not. I don't understand. Every fighter that fights knows their opponent. Knows their style, knows what they're gonna try to understand what they're gonna do. So to me, fishing without a plan, I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. I like to know. Okay, this is what I don't like doubling back.
Yeah.
I like to go up, and go to like all these spots, check them up all the way, and then come back. This spot just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
And when you sit there on this spot and you look at the time and you go, you know what? I've got 15 more minutes before I probably should move on to the next spot that I want to try.
Yep. Just saying I'm getting another beer, eh?
Yeah. But, and I'm not. Some of us have to try.
Me too.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, so you go there and you go, this isn't, is this going to happen?
Is that the last of my beer?
You go, I wasn't talking.
I just seen him walking away
By the way, for the record, Wade didn't finish his beer.
Sorry, what were you saying? I tuned out about 15 minutes ago.
That's natural for you.
Oh, yeah, it is.
What was I saying?
Fucks me.
Yeah, I don't know. That school of fish just does my head in. I understand what you're saying. They're always there. Yeah, this is a school of fish. I know this school of fish.
Right.
Quite personally. Not personally enough to get a photo of them in the boat, but I can show you screenshots of them. I've named them. They're all fuckheads.
Are they?
Yeah. I don't know. It's... That if you sit there on that school of fish and you've got 15 minutes to be to your next spot, but it takes you half an hour to get there.
Are we talking Hinchy?
Yeah.
Oh, so we're up there now. Yeah. I remember you saying you were going up there and then I thought we'd double back. Okay.
No, I'm not doubling back. Remember I said that too.
You did.
Yeah. It can ruin your day. It'll ruin your plan. So all of a sudden, you've got spot A, B, C, D, E and F, right, for your day. They've got to be done at certain times.
Yep.
Right? You go to spot A, loaded full of fish.
Yep.
Right, sweet as, no dramas. I'll sit there, awesome. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Okay, spot B, well, you're predicting that spot will be fishable successfully in, say, 20 minutes, half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, no dramas. Sit here at spot A still. Then next thing you know, spot B, I'm probably a bit late to get there now. Oh, but spot C is not ready yet, so it can fuck your whole day up, man. Like, you sit there and you go, well, I might as well just commit to this fish. You got to make a decision. Do I commit to this fish, try and get them to bite, figure them out? To me, whatever I do in my life, I seem to learn the hard way. So I've got to put in the time, and I've got to sacrifice other stuff, like foregoing fish. So you go to Hinchy, man, and people ask, oh, how'd you go? And partner asks, how was your day? Oh, shit, Oh, did you catch anything? No, I didn't catch a damn thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
See,
not really. It's not that bad.
A good day, sorry, kick on.
Well, it's not that bad because, you're learning something.
That's
the way I look at it.
Yeah, I was just about to emphasise your point. Like I've had a good day if I don't get a fish in the boat, but I've found patterns and I've found fish, and I've found a similar pattern in an area.
Exactly, man.
That's enough for me.
That's a productive day.
Fuck oath it is. I'll be happy to just find consistent fish. Like if someone said you got to go fishing for the next 6 to 12 months and you can't take a rod, I'd be like, yeah, righto.
Yeah.
And go and find, say, a spot with a school of big barra on it. And I go, okay, they're here then. And you come back later, like the next tides, the next whatever it is, you come back and you find them again.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you go back there at the same time and you say, they're not there. And you go, okay, why?
Yeah. That's you're saying exactly what this...
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then after 12 months' time, you can consistently pick, it might not be every moon, it might not be every right tide, it might not be every anything, but you can consistently pick patterns in various, without giving too much away, aspects of fishing for barra, example, to go there and consistently find those fish. And then catching them's the easy part. If you can find the motherfuckers, it's just a matter of time.
If you understand their habits, converting them is the last small tiny piece of the puzzle. Like you said, like you can watch them. And the thing is with like quality sounders and stuff like that today in this day and age, you can watch them. You do know that they are barramundi. You don't need one on the deck to know
what they are.
Exactly right.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because I'll have a very similar, no doubt, a conversation with Reedy, Brendan, when he jumps on board.
Yeah.
It'll be a very, very similar conversation, I think. That there's people that just go out and go fishing because of the tides and the moon.
Yep.
And then there's people that go out to go fishing to take as much in as they can and consistently better themselves at their chance of catching or reaching their goals, put it that way.
That's what it all comes down to, I think. Like the amount of times I've driven all the way to Hinchinbrook, put the boat in at 6 a.m. on the water at sunrise, and not even cast a line until 10:30 is you just because you go.
If I can't see them on my sounder, I don't want to bar of it. I just won't blind cast.
That's the thing, man.
I just won't, man.
That's it. And sometimes I don't know. Do you think sometimes maybe I should just turn the sounder off and just go old school?
Sometimes, sometimes. But then you end up just working your ass off like a dog when it's just dumb.
Yeah, I
hate and cunts go, oh, fucking, you don't have a go, and you don't do all this sort of shit. I'm hardcore and I fucking cast all day and I fished for 27 hours. Whoop-de-fucking do, cunt. What about the bloke, right, that goes out, and says, okay, I'm going to go in and put in for this period of time over this tide. And they go and put in for 3 hours and catch fucking 3, 4, 5 meteries and go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus the cunt that goes out for 27 hours and catches 1 metery and goes home. See, I get more inspiration and more appreciation for the bloke that went out for 3 hours.
Man, that's what I was saying.
Because that's where I'm at with my fishing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was saying before, like knowing when to cut your losses and pull out.
In saying that.
Is the hardest, I find, probably the hardest lesson that I have ever learnt. I know blokes that'll fish, I'll see them on the river.
Yep.
And I'll be like, sweet as, and next thing I'll say, how did you go, like at the end of the day? And they'll say, I was out after a couple of hours, it wasn't happening today. And
you don't...
And they'll ask how I went, and I'll say, I got fuck all today, but I pulled out after 12 hours.
Yeah, and that's it. And then that's the thing, like I'm in the same boat, like I'm that pig-headed that I just want to stay out. I like being out, to be honest. Like, I don't even care if I'm not catching it. I just love being out.
I just want to learn something. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah. So I'm the cunt that gets home. I'm the bloke that gets home at dickhead o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Has to clean and unpack and have a gurney and a motor running in the middle of the fucking night when people are trying to go to bed.
You fucking.
I'm a fucking grub. And up in the morning, finish unpacking and cleaning and shit. No sleep, and then roll into work.
Yeah.
3/4 dead.
Yeah. So you're sacrificing your job. You're doing a very poor effort.
Basically.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah.
That's what fishing is.
It is, man. And just because, like, I just love the journey.
Well, I don't know. Like, it's like what you're saying is 100% correct, and the way that I look at it is, you sacrifice. Like that guy that pulled in, and he went in and he caught his fish, or he didn't catch his fish in 3 hours, and he pulled out and he left and he went home and he was home by 9. Right? He's obviously learnt He knows something that I don't.
He's been where you're trying to go.
Yeah, so for me, I've got to learn that shit.
Yeah.
Man. And like I said, the hard way. I've got to be out there. I've got to time on the water. I've got to understand. And it's those, okay, I pulled out at 5 p.m. or whatever. I've been on the water for 12 hours. I didn't catch a damn thing, But I think I know. I've taken something from the day. You've got to take something from the day.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll try this next time. And you go down the next time, it works. Sweet as. If it doesn't work, well then you can cross that off your list as well.
Yep.
So you think you might be learning something, but for me, that is learning something. You say, no, that is not the piece I need. It's something else.
Yep.
So that's still something. In my point, that's still something.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
100%
what are you doing?
100% it is. Well, you can't tell me that the people going out there for 3 or 4 hours is there for fucking, like, they've done that every time. Like, they know when to go out there for that 3 or 4 hours. That they haven't just spent... They haven't just started fishing 3 or 4 hour windows.
It's not a fluke, man.
No.
Let's just get this straight. It's not a friggin' fluke.
No.
That's that's why I fish by myself a hell of a lot, only for the fact that I don't want to let someone down. Because people see the...
You feel bad, eh?
Because they're not fishing. Imagine hopping in a boat with me and not casting a line for 4 hours. You're like, what are we doing? Oh, we're looking around. Oh, you find them there? Yeah.
You don't set the precedence beforehand?
But they don't... Well, you can say that.
I do.
Yeah, you can say that, but at the end of the day, people go fishing
friends.
because they want to go fishing. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just go, well, I'll just go by myself and I'm happy just to motor around in my punt or something like that for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And go, there's fish there. Okay, I'll try them. Oh, they're not fishing. They're not eating, whatever. That's fine. I don't feel like I'm letting everyone down. You get, you post fish picks up on social media. Oh, yeah, when are we going fishing? Oh, you want to come fish with me? Yeah, but, by the way, we might not be, fishing's fishing.
That's the thing, like, because you have this persona on social media where you only put photos up because you can't put no photos up when you don't catch anything. You can't just be holding air.
Just don't post.
Yeah, and you just don't post. You know what I mean? But then when every post you do put up is a fish or a quality fish or whatever else, and then people are like, "Fuck, this dude slays." Yeah. When you might put in fucking...
They don't see the hours, man.
Like the fish you put up are 1/10 of the successful trips you have.
Oh,
and then people have that expectation that, oh, this cunt slays.
Yeah.
So then they go, hey man, like, I want to come. Yeah, okay, no worries, bro, but we might not catch anything. And then they go, oh, really? Like they,
it looks like
they
you
expect,
catch heaps, man.
It's either people that expect to be spoon fed, spot poaching dogs, or people that are genuinely there for a good time. In my opinion.
You want to come fishing? We'll go fishing, man. It's as simple as that. Stop your expectations. Just stop. Fish, right? This is what we do. If you're like, I don't want to say weekend warrior, but if you're someone that doesn't fish that often, or you see, you've never caught a barra, don't come with me. Don't come with, someone like myself, and say, hey, Jim, I've seen you catch. You've caught 8 decent barras in the last 8 weeks or whatnot.
Yeah.
Go with a guide. Pay the money. Go with the guide. You want to catch your first barra? Exactly. I agree with you 100%. People don't see the hard work, and you can't.
Or people know that you've done the hard work and you've cracked it, and they don't want to do the hard work, and they just want to be fucking spoon fed.
Well, if that happens, well then they're not ever coming with me, or they're not ever coming with me again, and I hopefully don't have to learn the hard way.
Yeah, but there's a lot, I've been burnt.
Yeah.
Lots of people have been burnt from it, you know what I mean?
And that's why I'm just real cautious. I don't take a lot of my friends fishing.
There is no fast track, man.
You can't.
There is none.
You can't. People don't see, and that's what I was trying to say before, is people don't understand that, we'll go fishing, you catch X amount of barra, that's awesome, I want to catch my first barra. Yeah, you can't tell them prior that this is either a day where they're going to bite and we're going to catch heaps, or a day that we're going to not fucking hardly fish and cast, or we're just going to learn and we're going to observe. You can't tell them that until you're out there on the water.
Yeah.
And they're like, you could fish out there for 6 hours and not make a cast, or, be like, you find yourself, oh, I'll just get him to cast over here or get her to cast over here just because, they came out here fishing with me. Mm-hmm. Or like you feel like you've just got to get them fishing, inverted commas, for the sake of it. Whereas they don't see that this, you can't tell them beforehand that, hey, this is not happening today. Something's up. Something's changing. You can't turn it into a learning day, I suppose. Do you know? That's the way I look at things.
How do you mean you can't turn it into a learning day? Not for them.
If for them, yeah, they don't see the learning day. They're not, if they're not that way inclined in the mind.
90% of people aren't, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I mean. So there's a 90% chance that you're taking someone that's not that way inclined in the mind. If I went fishing with you, right, or you went fishing with me, and you said, and we got out in the water, because you don't know until you're out in the water.
Yep.
Something changes. Could have had a drop in temperature or anything, man. You know, birds could be flying fucking upside down or something. Who knows? But you tell me, okay, shit, man, they're not active today. Okay, we'll try this spot. Okay, they're not active today. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. Right? A lot of people aren't. They're like, but they're still there, aren't they? Let's fish them. What the? You try and tell them. There's no point, man. They're not. Okay, fine, fish them, whatever.
Yeah,
fish them. They're not going to.
I'd be more inclined to bounce ideas off and try and either get a bite, figure out a way to get a bite when they're shut down, or find other fish that are feeding.
Well, there's things to do with that. Like you can, like with deep water fish, right? You're only judging on their sounder. If you can actually physically see these fish in the shallows, and you can see what they're doing.
Well, they're not up there for no fucking reason.
You know when they're sulking. You know when they're eating.
Yeah.
Right. You can cast lures at them, and that's cool for people that you know. But if that fish is just ignoring it or swimming away or you're spooking it, and then what's the point of that? Like you can go, oh yeah, sweet, I saw three good fish in the shallows. They weren't interested. Let's just stop and go somewhere else and try something different. We'll turn it into, we're not going to catch a barra today because something's up with them.
Yeah.
They're not right. Let's just go chase jacks or hey, let's catch some finger mark or something, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Adapt, change and adapt. The hardest thing is you're not going to know until you're on the water, man. You can't tell people that.
So you're a pretty diverse fisherman? Like you're not locked into certain species?
Mm-mm.
You'll go with what's happening on the day.
Man, I just want... Yeah, exactly, man. That's the point. That's why else would you
think that... Do you think that... So this is my opinion, but do you think that it holds you back from fully cracking species? So like... It really
definitely... Yeah, I'm easily distracted, yes.
So I love everything. Man. I love everything. Like not that I'm distracted, but I love fishing.
Fishing the boat, fishing the boat.
I could go and fucking flick for sooty grunner with a 1,000 size spinner reel, right to sitting in a game chair, swinging off 2 kilometres of fucking line on a TLD, chasing 1,000-pound marlin. Yeah. Like it doesn't, the full scale, everything, including fly fishing. But do you think that diversity inhibits your ability to fully understand a species? Relative to your area.
Yeah, I think so. Would you watch a half-hour TV show only to turn it off 20 minutes in and watch another half-hour TV show?
That's basically what it is.
Exactly, man. And to me, I'm easy, not like you said, distracted or whatever you want to call it. I can easily switch. If I feel barras or isn't going to happen today, I'll go do something else.
Yep.
I've been hurt before.
Oh,
Spent all day barras. Yeah, exactly. So you know what? And every time I go to that spot, I always shake my head like that. Those fish that won't eat, I'll go. You always drive away thinking, "Am I doing the right thing?" Like it could be 10 minutes before they really turn on, and you have the most epic fish. Yep. The other thing is you're one cast away from landing a fish of a lifetime.
And that's it too, like with barra anyway. That's in any situation.
Exactly right.
In
the
any
cast
situation.
you don't make is the fish you don't catch, man.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll wear that. So let's shift across to jacks. Obviously, they are a soundable fish. I've sounded a jack a weird way. So we were sounding this vertical. It was weird. Like we were fishing a top end Barra series comp.
Okay, so we're talking estuary, not reef jacks.
No, estuary jacks.
Yeah,
estuary jacks. So we were fishing. I was fishing a top end Barra series comp with a mate of mine.
Yeah.
We were sounding along these vertical timbers, and I could see this small grain of rice in there. So that's a fish, man. Fucking earth it is, fish. Anyway, so Juddy gets a vibe out, and I don't know, 3 or 4 casts, bangs. I don't even know what it was. It was 50-something centimetre jack. I was like, fuck. Scan back past, nothing.
That was him, you reckon?
99% chance sure that we sounded that jack and caught it, which is the first and only time I've ever done it in my entire fishing career. But
the same as I was saying to you before about finger mark. You sounded them up. I can't sound the finger mark up.
Yeah.
I find rubbly bottom, and I seem to catch fish.
In Darwin, man. In Darwin, you can sound schools of them and you can tell the difference.
Between
Finger mark and jewfish, like as in black jew.
on a down imaging or side imaging?
Down.
That's pretty cool.
And even normal sonar. Like,
is there different shape and arches or something?
different how they stack.
So what it is it's not the shape of the fish or anything like that. It's the action of the fish.
It's how they're sitting in the column. Like trevally, you'll get like stacked on top of each other in a vertical fucking column, and you'll catch the cunts on anything.
Yeah,
and then dewies will be like long.
Maybe stacked
lines.
2 or 3 high in a school.
Along the bottom. Along the bottom, really, really low and long lines.
Yeah.
And
I've seen underwater footage of finger mark and how they act. I've yet to see them though, like, or to completely go, yeah, they're finger mark though.
Yeah. In saying that, the knowledge that I got from up there on those fish, brought back here and found them. Like, have found them before. It's weird.
So you're saying your time in Darwin, and that's obviously they're acting the same way.
There's a lot of them up there.
Yeah.
Well, what? I need a piss, man. I'm tapping my fist. I'm tapping my feet.
Should we take a piss break?
We're going to have a piss break.
Yeah, right, sort of us.
Right, we're back. Quick piss stop.
Yeah.
Couple beers.
Yeah, cut froth. What are we talking about?
Jacks. I want to talk about jacks.
Okay.
So we're talking about sounding fish. That's the only jack I've ever sounded.
If that was legit, that's pretty cool.
That was legit. That's legit. Well, why wouldn't it be legit?
No, I mean, if that was exactly the fish, you said you're 99%.
I'm 99% sure that was the
that means
fish.
there's 1% chance that it's not the fish.
Yeah, it was like 50-something centimetre jack. So you could sound a 50-something centimetre.
Yeah, I'm not
Barra,
saying you can't. I've just never.
No, I just see what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying?
You're just having a.
Yeah.
What's these?
I don't know, man. They're like
What
little
is that
fruit
insect?
flies or something. Man. It's what?
Oh yeah. Coffee.
That's
fly.
how good flow say coffee is.
Attracts flies.
Yeah.
No. Hey. Anyway.
That was a plug. Don't up me.
Oh.
You're welcome. You mean?
Thank you.
Oh.
Jacks.
We didn't kiss?
No, we didn't.
Fuck you.
Jacks. When you target your jacks, do you use a sounder?
No.
Without giving too much away, obviously, how do you target jacks?
Well, I'm not giving too much away. It's inadvertently it's snag bashing. Right?
Yeah.
So what I mean by snag bashing is, excuse me, up against the timber. Yeah, inadvertently it's snag bashing. So you're not going to give too much away.
Is it location specific?
It depends on. You can't like you. I'll use a place like Hinchinbrook. I'll use a place like any river. It's pretty much lined with mangroves.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to catch a jack on every mangrove.
So you just you're grinding your.
No. There's other factors. There's not.
Can you elaborate or not? Really?
Yeah, I can. I'll elaborate. It's like you go to a place like Hinchinbrook, man, and like I know for a fact it's got between 1 kilometre and 1 million kilometres of mangrove banks. That's a fact. I'll tell you that for free.
I believe you.
Yeah. So you go up there. I remember the first time I went up there by myself.
Yeah.
Where do you fucking start? It's daunting as shit. You just you look for other things. You get to know them. You got to understand your species. You understand your target. Jacks are ambush predators. You can fish the mangroves, right? And you can fish high water mangroves where there's water still.
That's how most people do it, don't they?
Yeah, right. High water, still water.
Why is that?
I don't know, but jacks aren't out there foraging for food. They sit at home.
Ambush.
And they ambush.
But what? Okay.
So still water is not bringing unless the bait's already in that still water, they're not going to eat it.
Is a jack territorial?
From what I've gathered, yeah, yes and no. Like
Because
I don't know enough.
there's places that are dry out on high tide. Do they go down?
So sorry
I
about
like when your phone's on loud though.
So sorry.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like there's high tide spots where you get jacks.
And that's what makes me...
It dries out, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's
Do
what
they have a
makes me
low
think
tide spot and a high tide spot
exactly.
or what?
That's what makes me think they're not that territorial. You don't see a jack hanging onto timber that's dry at low tide saying, this is my fucking spot. Do you know what I mean? They've got to fuck off somewhere.
Yeah.
So that must make me think that they're not that territorial. They're ambush predators. They're not... They like their space, right? And they'll defend that space. But that space, if that space goes dry, freaking low tide, they're not going to sit there at low tide and defend it.
Yeah.
They've got to go somewhere. So you got to catch them. I've seen them cruising the banks.
Yep.
In schools. Just recently.
Yeah.
I've come across something that I've only ever seen, I'd say 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
and that's a school of maybe 30 plus mangrove jack.
Found them or saw them or sat on them and cast at them.
Well, finding them and seeing them is the same thing. I
No,
don't
but
use the
seeing them,
sounder.
like visually seeing them or
Visually
seeing
seeing them,
them not on a sounder.
not on a sounder. Visually seeing them.
A 30-pack school of jacks.
Yes. And
You're right.
you get excited because they're that tight. You think, what is that, a school of bream? Is that a school of
Spawning or something,
mullet?
are they?
Well, that's the only thing I can put it down to. And you go, I'll cast my little tiny lure in there, what I normally get them on, and they
But-
just let it bump off the sides of their bodies. They're not interested whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
And you go, or they'll spook and they'll swim down deep, and then they'll come back up. And they'll keep moving very slowly up the river. And it's like, well, what? I don't know what they're doing. I haven't. The ones that I've managed to hook, which is only ever 1 or 2 small ones.
Yep.
Like I'm talking, some of these fish are 45 plus.
Big jacks.
Yeah, and you'll downsize your lure so much. You know, you'll chuck a little surface lure, you'll chuck a pop frog,
Yep.
deep diver, soft plastic, paddle tail, curl tail, whatever.
Yep.
Prawn lure. You go right down to a tiny little jelly prawn lure,
Yep.
and you'll get one to eat on the bottom, whether it's come from that school or not.
Yep.
But the ones I've landed have coughed up a greenish, brownish slime that looks like algae. And it's not, as far as I can tell, I'm not an expert, but it's not mangrove worm. I've seen them eat mangrove worms before. You know, you get that after
Yeah.
the rains and stuff, you get the mangrove worms floating down the river. They break in half when you touch them with your line. It's not that. I don't know what it is. It looks like that algae that you see in wintertime in some of the river systems up here.
So would you think that if you threw something similar, that you'd catch them?
Oh, I don't have any algal fucking lures.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's what they're eating
Did
or...
Chris just leave?
A sound guy left. Yeah, he's had enough.
I'm pretty sure he just bailed out.
He's just had enough.
He must have just bailed out. He didn't even say goodbye.
He's getting your birthday cake.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. I've only ever seen it, I'd say 4 times max. And I've seen it twice in the one spot where I thought, I'll go up here. It's this time of year. And they were there, and it was there. And I
Yeah.
was super happy. I was super stoked that I saw them again.
Yeah.
But they still didn't eat. They're not feeding. They're not. It didn't matter what I threw, man. They were fucking spooked. Like they just spooked away from it, or
Yeah.
let the lure hit the body. Like I did a hard body down there, and just bounced off 2 jacks.
Yeah.
Didn't eat it, and it's kind of well, what? Their mind is on something else.
I think that's the same as those big school and Barra, man.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be. Their mind is on something else. They're not ready to feed. Mind you, I haven't sat on that school of jacks for ages. They move. If I've seen them 4 times, I've only ever seen them in 2 systems, 2 little creeks.
Yep. Yeah, righto.
I've never seen them anywhere else. But going back to like targeting jacks, yeah, mangrove banks, right? Sweet, that's all well and good. But you need other factors. You need tide. You need bait.
Yeah.
There's no point casting lures at dead water. What I call dead water is water that's not moving. So if you've got the tide flowing in, if the tide's moving or flowing out even, and you found still water with mangroves in it, I wouldn't fish it personally, man. No fucking way.
Yeah, righto.
It's
Why? Because
there's nothing to bring the food past
But is
the jacks.
it like, are you talking, oh, righto. So they're not feeding in still water, like
They're not hunting.
they're just sitting there and waiting for an opportunity.
They're ambush predators. They're not
Yeah.
hunters. So to me, you need, and I'm probably going to give too much away here. I've gone through all my haunts, and the only other time I'm really successful on my jack banks, what I call jack banks is a stretch of anywhere between 5 metres to 100 metres, or 500 metres of bank that I consistently catch jacks on. The only time I'm ever consistent there is when the bait's there.
Yep.
So it could be the exact same tide in the exact same month, you know. And if the bait's not there, they're not there.
Yeah.
So whether or not they feed, nothing's clockwork in nature.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So if you go 1 hour after the turn of the tide and it's a 3 metre tide,
Yep.
at 1 hour in this spot, they're going to feed because that's where the bait's going to be. That's not the fucking case. That could be 1 hour. That could be 3 hours.
Yeah, righto.
If that makes sense, the bait might be holding up there a little bit longer, holding on for that little bit longer. When you first nailed them, the bait could have come out pretty quick.
So it's not necessarily heights in a way, almost.
The heights is only to allow the fish in that area.
To be somewhere, yeah.
I've seen jacks schooling on sandbars. Oh, it's not schooling on sandbars, but sitting on sandbars.
Yeah.
I've got a jack at home in my tank. It nests. It's got nothing but gravel in there. It's got a rock and a piece of timber. It doesn't sit in that. It built a nest.
Yeah,
like
right.
a tilapia. It built a circle, what would look like a feed hole.
Yeah.
So you see these feed holes from like stingrays or goldens or something.
Yeah.
I've seen jacks and grunters sit in them.
Yeah.
Right, now I'm starting to think, is that them? Is that
Are
the
they
jack making
nesting
them?
or are they...
Well, not nesting, but just creating a spot for them to sit.
Yeah.
At that stage of the tide, as an ambush point.
Yep.
Instead of laying down flat in the water, they'll nest out, sit upright. Makes it a little bit more hard for a bait fish to see that's coming straight over. This is only in a foot, 2 foot, 3 foot of water.
How are they laying?
Instead of laying flat,
Yeah.
some fish lay flat on the sand. They'll cruise up the sand and they'll lay flat.
They flat, yeah. Trevally do it and shit
Trevally,
like that.
exactly
Mooning.
right. Yeah.
We call it mooning, yeah.
Yeah. Jacks, I can't. I've never seen them do that. They do the whole scratching and itching. I'm not a scientist or anything. I don't know why they do that. My fish at home does that in the tank. Does it on the bottom. Does it against the glass. I don't know why it does it.
Yep.
Whether it's an itch, I don't know. If it's masturbating, I fucking wouldn't know. I don't know. But the ones I've seen in the wild, they sit there.
Yeah.
And they go, jacks change colour. From owning a pet mangrove jack, I now know what their stress colour is.
Which is? Was that?
Nah, I'm joking.
Is that secret? How's that a secret?
No, it's not a secret.
Oh.
Well, what do you think it is?
Fuck if I know.
Exactly.
I know they're most aggressive when they're red.
And how do you know that?
Because that's when you catch them. When they're red.
How do you know they're not stressed?
Or maybe they are stressed.
Exactly.
Well, that's true because they've fucking got a hook in their face.
Well, they're out of water.
That's true too.
These are the things you got to start. I don't know, man.
So maybe they are pale.
The ones I've seen. I'll just put it this way. The ones I've seen on the sand.
What's your jack jimmying around in this tank after it's chilled out? What colour is it?
It's the same colour as the aggregate that's on the bottom.
Yeah, righto. That's interesting.
When he goes stressed, he goes blotchy.
When you feed him, what does he go?
Doesn't change.
Because he's chill. Because he's used to being fed.
The only thing that changes...
When you first put him... Sorry?
The only thing that changes when I feed him is sometimes his teeth are in his mouth, sometimes his teeth are in my finger. No, but seriously, the only thing that changes is his fins.
So what about when you first put him in there, what was he like?
He was stressed out. I had 2 in there.
Yep.
I had to get rid of 1.
Because they're fighting.
They got on for a few weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks. And then one started getting... things were pretty much similar in size.
Yeah.
And then they just started barneying, man, like proper.
Yeah, righto.
To the point where you stick your hand in the water and try and split them up. And
Yeah, right.
most nights, in the morning, there'd be water on the floor around the tank because I've been fighting.
Yeah, right.
Scales coming off. It's just, yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah, the only thing that'll kill a jack is probably another jack.
Yeah.
So, to me, I've figured out when they go stressful, so when I've got my hand in the tank and he's not happy, or if I'm doing a water change, or if I feed him heaps, and then, I've tried to feed him again, and they get that blotchy white.
Yeah,
it's
I know
that
what you mean.
discoloration.
Yep.
Not talking about the bands or anything like that, but they get that blotchy white, like someone's half spray painted them.
Yeah.
That's the stressful colour.
Yeah, righto.
Other than that, I've got the pebbles and that, they're pretty much, beige, bony colour rocks.
Yep.
He's like that. The ones I've seen on the sand, you don't see them. They're camouflage.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of jacks that are really pale.
Yeah.
Like hell pale.
Yeah. And the ones you see in the timber are heaps red.
Yeah.
You see their red fins, like sometimes in the incoming tide, you see their red fins
Why?
and you're like, why? I'm assuming they see the mangroves as that dark red colour.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, and that's another thing that like people think fish like, oh, you can't see red at a depth.
That's the first colour you lose.
But that's the
under
fucking
10
colour
metres.
that's the first colour that humans lose at
humans.
a depth, man.
Yes,
it fucking
humans.
annoys me, it really makes me wild. But like,
you're right.
People are comparing the human eye to a fish's eye.
What is it? In the spectrum, in the colour spectrum, what is it? 0 to 10 metres, I think the first colour to go, and the human eye is red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, okay, so your argument would be, well, red emperor are red.
Yeah.
And they're down deep.
You ever seen them underwater?
No. Well, what? Okay, so
Well, for our
supposedly,
eyes,
supposedly
for our
red
eyes.
emperor's invisible. Basically, based on the human eye, red emperor's or no, a nanoguy. Fuck if I know. A red fish is invisible.
Yeah.
So does that mean it's invisible to a fucking bait fish? Because you're basing it on the human eye.
That's a good point, eh?
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like...
Is that nature's way of their camouflage that you're saying? So
Is it?
We'll get rid of red
Based on our...
to make these a successful hunter.
But that's based on our opinion. Because...
Everything's based on our opinion if you really think of it. We're the ones doing the research.
Yeah, but... no, but you know what I mean? Like, the bait fish might be able to see them fish. Like...
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's...
I don't know. It kind of makes sense. It kind of doesn't, because like we're going.
This is the best thing about fishing, man.
It weirds you out because you go, oh yeah, red. But then I've jigged in 30, 40 minutes using red fucking jigs, man.
and you get eaten. What's to go there?
Tell me
Is
about
it because they're seeing white?
Fuck knows.
Does the red turn to white? Who fucking? The only thing we can know is from my
Well,
thing.
okay. People go like red emperor got a red white stripe. The big ones don't. Right, they
lose that. Yeah.
Basically,
Sorry, yeah,
don't.
right, yeah.
3/4 don't.
Yeah.
They're still semi striped, but a nanoguy is full red, pink, red, whatever.
When you get it to the surface.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You're not looking at the fuckers when you're sitting down that deep. I don't know. I just think we gauge a lot of stuff off the human eye when it's the fish seeing it and it's a bait fish. It's at the end of the day, it's what the bait fish sees.
Well, I think if we knew if the fish saw,
Has it got to do with the bottom? Has it got to do with...
If we knew what the fish saw, the lure industry would go bust.
Basically.
Because you'd only have that one type of lure. You'd know that work in a certain depth of water, But I'm only going off, once again, it's the human eye. But you can look at dive videos, spearing videos of people that are spearing red fish, nanny guy, red emperor. They look white.
Yeah.
The only real way to distinguish between them is the body shape, and sometimes that white stripe the darker stripe in the red emperor, or the saddle tail on the largemouth nanny guy.
Yeah.
You ever seen a red bass underwater? It looks like a finger mark.
Yeah, righto.
It's white. But the only thing is, instead of a dark spot where the finger mark spot is, it's a white spot.
Yeah.
And you go, am my eyes playing on that? Or what's going on there?
Yeah, but it's based on the human eye.
That's what I mean. Everything's based on the human eye.
The fish don't eat what the fucking human sees as good.
I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying.
It's stress. It gives me the shits. But
that's why there's going to be so many opinions forever on this, because we'll never ever know.
Yeah, but that's not like, okay, we use this green lure.
Yeah.
But the fish don't see it as green lure. We see it as it being a good lure because it's green.
90% of lures catch the fisherman.
True, I guess.
But why are you using the green lure? What's the conditions? And why do you choose that green lure?
Yeah, but that's again based on the human eye. The fish doesn't give a fuck. Or, well, maybe it does. Maybe it can see green, maybe it can't.
I don't know, when it comes to like...
I'm big on natural colours based on the human eye and profiles.
Yeah. You've also spent a bit of time in Northern Territory. Am I correct in saying that some of the fishermen up there prefer brighter lures in darker water, and then some of them prefer dark, like natural colour lures in darker water? You know what I mean? Isn't that really coming down to preference? And like, seriously, they're polar opposites. They're bookends, man.
At the end of the day, man, I think lure colour is the most minute part of it.
Yeah.
I think if you've got fish that aren't feeding, and you need a certain lure profile, lure size, certain flash, certain action to get a nibble, to get a reaction bite, that makes a difference. But if you are targeting feeding fish,
sometimes it doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. I think they more
the colour we're talking about here.
The colour we're talking about. Yeah, definitely. So I think if
does colour even play a part?
I think it plays a minor part. I don't think it plays
a huge part. This is a whole new series, like...
Yeah, man. But if you're fishing feeding fish, a school of feeding fish, right?
Yeah.
If you're fishing those and they're feeding.
Yeah.
if you can mimic, if I've found a school of barra that are on the rise, and you're like, fuck that, okay, they're eating.
Here we go.
They're eating. We're on. I will throw bait based on
what you think's in the area.
What I think's in the area. Yeah. So I'll throw a bait fish profile. I'll throw a shrimp prawn profile. I'll throw a vibe. It depends.
Do you go to your lure that you caught them on previously in that area?
Well, yes, depending on the watercolor and all that sort of stuff. So if the water's really, really clean, I'll throw natural, and I won't throw really aggressive lures, like really heavy rattles, heavy bite. Yep. I'll throw really subtle stuff.
Yeah.
In the same breath, I'll throw stuff sometimes for shutdown fish in the same situation that has those rattles, that has those flashes and things to get a reaction. Because I'm talking Barra more specifically, but you'll get something that's like, because Barra head swipe, man.
I've got a story for you when you finish. Yeah, keep going.
So Barra head swipe.
Yeah,
Barra
definitely.
go fuck off, man, and hit there with the face. The amount of Barra I've hooked on vibes in the forehead.
Yes.
You can't tell me that they're that inaccurate that they missed that badly.
They're not. When they want to eat something, they'll freaking eat something, man. If they're pissed off,
especially
or they're
vibe,
inquisitive, they'll go, "What is this?"
Especially a vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's getting drawn in a static height and a static action. They can't miss the fucking thing with their mouth.
A tiny vibe, a 90mm vibe, gets engulfed by an 80 centimetre fish. They're engulfing, you'd have to say, at least 2 or 3 litres of water. That vibe doesn't, you can't engulf something and that vibe not
pop out and not hit you in the face.
It doesn't go to the outside.
No.
It goes inside.
So like that's the sort of shit that I mean. Like you need to find either what makes them tick, whether it be bite windows based on various triggers, or what you can get a reaction bite out of.
I've got a question for you.
Righto.
If you've got a school of said fish, right? Lure confidence comes down to it. If you're using a colour that you believe works better, you're going to fish that lure with a lot more confidence. I always say to people, and because I've learnt, like again, the hard way, I've caught fish on lure colours that I would never use, but it was the only lure I had that I think would have worked, but it wasn't the colour I wanted. We'll say, instead of using a natural colour, a mullet colour or something like that, I used a fluorescent purple or a pink lure, you know, but it was that only style of lure I had. So I was forced to use it because that's what I thought they were eating. And it worked. Gangbusters. Now you can go, okay, that's just the style of lure. But then, you know, you use that lure again and you get other colours of that lure, but that colour still fishes really well. Now, my question to you is, when does it stop becoming colour and start becoming confidence? Because you go, I'll put this lure on, I've worked it, and I know that it's caught fish before, so I think it'll work, rather than, I'm not sure about this colour.
Righto. I think confidence is obviously key. Because if you're confident with the lure, you're putting in good casts, you're putting in more casts.
Good action.
And you're working it properly.
Yeah. Will you have it on longer as well?
Most likely. But then that changes your averages again too. So
that's what I'm.
You know what I mean? Like if you say, I fucking hate this lure, you're gonna put it on for 10 minutes and change it.
Yeah, 3 casts, not feeling it, done.
You don't give it a chance. Whereas if you've got a lure you like, then or a lure colour you like, you're gonna have it on longer. So obviously it's got more of a chance of getting a fish because you're using it longer.
But
what's this cunt got?
What happened?
I don't know. He's come back with something.
If he doesn't come in with KFC on leaving,
if he comes in with cake, do you buy a cake? He bought a pizza.
Pizza.
You Lord, I thought you left without saying goodbye.
Yeah, I know. I only bought one pizza too. Damn.
Oh man. My producer slash studio owner slash fluffer slash sound guy slash media guy is
a legend.
Fucking Lord.
This podcast is about to get real good because you're about to eat us. You're about to hear us eat.
No, I can't do that anymore.
So we're not allowed to eat the pizza.
No, we can look at it and smell it. No, we can eat the pizza. We'll just pause it.
We can't pause.
We can pause.
I was about to tell you stories.
Well, guys, tell me stories.
Well, now the pizza's here.
Carry on.
Oh, look at him go. Tell the story.
Man, you can't do that. You can. That pizza smells delicious, man. You can't. Look at it. Oh, it's got bacon.
Do you want to pause and eat and tell the story after?
I've got a piss.
Okay. We're back. Big feed of pizza. A few more beers.
Couple more.
Bit more smack.
Yeah.
That couldn't make air. Bit pretentious.
they don't know about the thing off for about 25 minutes.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, it's been off for a while.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we couldn't put on.
What?
You were talking about, you were going to tell me a story
Yeah.
about like lure colour, lure action, something like that.
Yeah. So going back to like how we were discussing lure colour, if it's just something that affects us or if it affects the fish, and you know the types of actions, vibrations versus silent. I've actually taken that back down to South Australia in the River Murray, and a way.
Why do you people do that? Why do you people say River Murray instead of Murray River? Is that a thing?
I have no idea.
All you people that are from down there do
all
that,
you people, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, it's...
You people?
I'm glad you finally moved up here with the humans.
Yeah. I don't know, we're about 45 minutes from the Burdekin. You people. I used to call it the Murray River because that's what it's called, but up here in North Queensland there's already a Murray River and that's just up near Tully. So I guess people, I think it's the largest river in the country. I guess they can call it whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Yeah.
That's why they want to call it the River Murray.
Yep.
They call it the River Murray. But yeah, going back there, you take all your experiences and the information you know.
Yep.
And, saying that I started growing up and fishing there with baits and stuff off the bank and in boats, to now lure fishing for not only callop or yellow belly, what you call them up here.
What?
We call them callop. What? They're called callop.
They're not called callop.
They're called callop, mate. Golden perch or yellow belly.
It sounds like a shellfish.
That's mean.
Callop.
Callop, yeah. What would you call them?
Yellow belly.
Yeah, well, that doesn't sound appetising. We have to eat them, see? So we got...
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's their own.
Oh, this is... I'm struggling to get over this you people comment, to be honest. You people. South Australia leads the country in being 6 months behind everyone, all right? So just leave us alone.
Just slightly behind the territory or in front of the territory?
We're way behind.
Oh, shit. Because the territory's about 15 years behind.
Yeah, we are a lot further.
Oh, shit. Anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, the water down there is predominantly dirty. And we do a vertical style jigging for callop or yellow belly. You can't, in the snag. So you sit in the snags and you vertical jig. The only way we do that, the only reason we do that, mainly I figured out, is because if you cast, the likeliness of snags is just too much.
Yep.
It's very high. So it's just easy to jig them up and down, up and down, up and down, and just move around the boat.
Yep.
It's this real weird way of fishing.
It's the same. I'll confirm, not that it's my podcast, but I'll just talk about it. I'm from Southwest Queensland, which is exactly the same, except we used to do it with bait when I was younger, like a paternoster.
Well, like where are you from? Like Cunnamulla or Charleville or something?
Charleville,
like that?
man.
Charleville. That explains it. You people, eh? You're from Charleville, man. Jesus.
God's country, mate.
God's country.
Yeah, and we used to jig.
I bet that God didn't want.
We used to jig from like paternoster style and actually jig. Yeah. And very, very similar. And then Barra the same. So vertical vibing, jigging plastics.
Yeah.
You got to stay static, otherwise you're guaranteed snags.
Yeah, and that's it. So the reason we only do that is for that. So you get your lure back. You're not interrupting your style of fishing. But we'd go from, a lot of the times when I went down there, it was the rattling vibes that got the bite. You got to hear the rattle. The louder the rattle, the better. And you'd hear the rattle in the boat. And then you would hear the fish hit it. So you'd be dropping down, or the lure would be stationary, and you'd hear all of a sudden a rattle. Whether it was yours or not, you can hear that someone's on already, because you can hear that different type of rattle. You hear the tink, we're on. Yep. It always used to be the thought process of, you got to have a rattle. You got to have a rattle. That's what gets them. That's what gets them. That's what gets them. And coming from vibing barras with silent vibes, to me that just seemed a bit
weird. Yeah,
it did, because barra are a fish. Callop or yellow belly are a fish. They feed very similar. Bucket mouths, obviously on a much smaller scale with the yellows. But they're an engulfing.
Same
they've got
principles.
the same shape head nearly.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, and you just go, well, we use silent ones. So, I would use a silent soft plastic vibe.
Yeah.
And there'd be some days where you wouldn't catch a thing. there'd be some days where you'd catch 5 times as much as the rattling vibe.
Yeah.
They would just eat that. They wouldn't touch the rattling
Well,
vibe.
there used to be, I don't know if they're still out anymore, they used to call them rattling spots or something.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was before my time and I've seen a few, but it's basically a rattling vibe in Barra size.
Yeah.
And there's people out there that just swear by them.
Yeah.
Do you ever think they're reaction bites, anger bites, or actual feeding bites?
If you're marking the fish and they're not eating anything that you offer them, I can't tell if it's a reaction bite or an anger or just a get the hell away from me bite.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're connected, does it really matter? But I have done that as well, like in freshwater scenarios where you've seen barras stacked up, but you see them coming through. They're not eating a hard body. They're not eating silent hard bodies. They're not eating vibes. They're not even paddle tails. And you see them stacked up, and you chuck a rattling vibe on.
Yeah.
You know, TN70 or something like that, whatever. You chuck it and you can hear the rattle, and then they hit it.
Yeah.
Is it because it's too loud and they don't want anything to do with it and they hit it to kill it? Or they think that's a wounded bait fish? I can't tell. I don't know. But
have you found any patterns in your fishing up here that maybe that's the case?
not in case of like the rattling vibes. I haven't. To me, it's a it's just another tool you can use in your tool belt for me. So
when you go to target, I was going to say a fish, but it's too generalised. Barra.
Yeah.
Let's go Barra. We're still on Barra.
Yeah.
No, let's go Jacks. Fuck
Okay.
it. Let's go Jacks. When you go to target Jacks in a specific location, what, based on lure, like, well, to not give too much away about situation, like spots and stuff, lures, what influences your decision? Is it previous experience or is it situational experience?
Well, situational and previous experience are very, very similar for me. Like what you've
But
used,
what do you mean? Like previous experience is like
what you've caught a fish on before.
before, and then situational is like watercolour,
similar
baits,
situation.
bait.
Oh, as in situation to that day.
Yeah, situational
Okay,
experience.
sorry,
Yeah.
I'm
As in, well, I shouldn't have
Yeah.
said experience. Situational.
Okay. Yeah. Look. Okay. That's a good question. I'm probably a bit arrogant in the fact that when it comes to chasing jacks, the way I chase them, I want them on surface. Mm-hmm. So I won't change.
Well, that cuts 3/4 of the lures out of
definitely.
the world.
Exactly right. And when it comes down to the area you're fishing, where you get that surface lure in, well, that cuts it down to more because you want to fish relatively weedless.
Yep.
So that cuts it down again. So you're not going to use your conventional poppers with 2 sets of trebles on it.
Yep.
Or stick baits or little tango dancers with 2 sets of trebles. You're not going to use that. You're going to go down to a weedless style of soft plastic surface lure.
Unweighted.
Unweighted.
Yep.
Managed to skip it in under all that trees and under all the overhangs.
Are you skip casting with bait casters or spin?
Spin. I'm not that good. I'm not that good, man.
Yep.
I haven't mastered that. And a lot of the time, I don't skip cast. If it is, it's accidental. It's a lot of the time, you just with a light spin outfit, just pitch it straight in.
Yep.
I think.
Are you finding that your jacks, you got to put it on the dollar, like on the money, or can you be in the vicinity?
Man, that is what I haven't worked out. I've had them where you put it on their nose, and they hit it. And I've had times where you put it on their nose and they don't hit it. And I've had times where I've skipped a soft plastic surface lure in and they've intercepted it on the skip.
Yeah, righto.
Their eyes are that big that they see it. They watch it come in.
Yeah, they know.
I've seen them numerous times. You see the lure flying in the air and you see them take off in shallow water, or you see them take off from their root mangroves, take off and smash that lure as soon as it hits the water.
Yep.
It is uncanny. And a lot of the times, like I say to people, if you've seen a mangrove jack free swimming, it's already seen you, and it won't eat.
Yeah, righto.
If you see a mangrove jack in the sticks, on the flats, anywhere, it's seen you, man. It's already seen you, 100%.
Been and done.
It's seen you. It easy does.
Yeah, righto.
They've got a fucking giant eye.
Yeah.
You know, that's to me my opinion. I don't know what other people may have. Their experiences may vary. But to me, I go, any jack that I've seen in the tree, like I'm not going to not cast at it.
Yeah.
But when I cast at it and it doesn't react,
Yep.
it just further, for me, just confirms the fact that it's seen me and it's not going to eat. It knows something's up. It's not, whether they, not that they go and shut down though, but they're just, something's not right. I've seen them pull out of strikes.
Yeah.
You know, they come halfway out and not that they just turn away. I'm not talking about turn, swipe and miss. I'm talking about they've come out, raced out and stopped.
Because they saw you.
And, well,
or you think so?
They've reassessed the situation.
Yep.
Whether they've come too far out that they're not comfortable with.
Yep.
Or whether they've seen me, or they've seen something, they've seen the line, they've seen the knot, they've seen something that they're just, whatever it is, it's stopped them. It's stopped them dead in their tracks. They've stopped and they'll sit there.
Yep.
And they'll just turn around and swim back normally.
Yep.
So I'm not talking, and then other times I've had them swim out 4 or 5 metres from the snag in 4 to 5 metres of water. And smack it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they're an arsehole.
Yep.
One way, and sometimes they're an arsehole the other way. Sometimes they will just fucking smash you, no matter what. Nothing's getting in the way, and sometimes they'll be finicky as hell.
Yeah, right.
So like, something's not quite right. I'm not committing.
Fair enough.
And that. Sorry for keeping you.
Yeah, man. I just starting to just tune it in.
It's so when it comes down to lure selection, I use pop frogs. I'll say I use frog style lures that pop. Pop frogs, whatever type of frog lures, surface frogs.
Yep.
In the salt water. I've never seen a frog swim in salt water. I'm not even sure frogs can go in salt water without it burning their skin and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Why do they eat it? Why do jacks eat it? Why do Barra eat it? Why do brim, archerfish, why does everything eat it?
Because it's there.
Are they inquisitive? Fish don't have hands. Are they using that to see what it is? Are they mouthing it?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. This is all these questions.
It's weird, and it's ones that you'll struggle to answer in that respect.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, if it's got it in its mouth, I don't care what the reason's for. If I can pin it, that's success.
Yeah, well, that's it too. If it's eat, then it's eat. Doesn't matter how you get it.
Yeah.
It'd be weird, like, because you'll develop this level of opinions about why fish eat something a certain way.
Yeah.
And then someone else will get them to eat in the same situation, eat something else in a certain way.
Completely.
And you'll be like, fuck, they're two contradicting opinions.
And that's what you got to be, I think.
Then there's no full definitive answer.
Yeah, there's no logic. This is just what happens. And I think I don't know, I'm not going to say what makes a good fisherman and what not, but as a fisherman or a fisher person, you've got to be understanding of that.
Yeah.
You know, like I use frogs for so much in the salt water. Frogs in freshwater, I get. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you see a frog, lily pads, all that kind of jazz. That's cool. That is some gnarly stuff. They're going to eat that. But salt water.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a frog in salt water swimming by itself?
No, I haven't.
Exactly. Why do they smash? Man. I've had days where they've smashed frogs rather than pop shads.
Yeah.
Or any other surface lure.
Yeah.
Why is that?
No one knows, man.
Whatever it is, whether it's inquisitive, and that's how they find out what something is they mouth it.
Yep.
That could be it. As I said before, I don't care if it's in their mouth and the hook's in. Well, that's me.
Stiff pickies.
That's it. You're coming in for a quick pick, you know.
Yep.
So
fair enough.
Yeah.
It's a weird one, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about 4 pound comp. It's been burning on my mind. You're a founder of the 4 pound comp up here, which is 3/4 famous.
Yeah.
Between most fish shows, especially on the East Coast. There's a lot of people that travel from a lot of different places to come to do it now, man. What is it?
4 pound comp. Yeah, right. So some mates and I, some mates started the Facebook page, I want to say probably 10 years ago now, man. And it was just a bunch of guys that like fishing 4 pound braid. It doesn't have to be IGFA tested or anything like that. It was just, you'd go in, you'd load up a 4 pound braid on your spool and you'd fish. We had a page on Facebook that grew from, 100 anglers to, 200 anglers, and we thought, well, let's get these anglers that all have the same sort of likes.
Yep.
Let's get them together. What better way to do it together, get it together than a fishing comp as well?
Yep.
And for insurance purposes and legal reasons, we couldn't call it a competition for so much. It was more of a challenge or just a get together. But it was a comp that just started and been running for about 8 years now, and a lot of the guys from what they say to us is the go-to comp that they look forward to once a year. I guess it's to put it bluntly, it's probably like a footy trip on steroids. Without the footy, I guess.
Yep.
A bunch of 100 odd anglers getting together.
So is it per boat or per fisherman? So you can fish with multiple. So there can be 3 anglers on your boat, and that's 3 different people in the comp, or is it one boat?
Both. You have a team score and an individual score.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
So where does it range?
It ranges in the Hinchinbrook region, so pretty much from like Taylor's Beach, which is just south of Lucinda, pretty much up to Cardwell.
Yep.
Including Hinchinbrook Island, the Jetty, and a few of the islands north of Cardwell there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, you can go around to Missionary Bay as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's species based, so it's not just locked into one species like your Barra or your permit competitions. It's the more species you get, the better off your individual score is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those team scores aren't dictated by species. Your
Yep.
team score is your team score, as however many fish you get in the boat.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just a bit of fun.
What do you mean? Like, explain.
So individual scores are, you get bonus points for X amount of species you get. So if you
Yep.
get 3 species of fish, you get X amount of bonus points. If you get every species on top of that, you get
So
another
there's a list
X.
of species.
Yeah, there's a list of about a dozen species.
Yeah.
You know, ranging from barramundi.
Cod.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many people get excited about catching a cod.
Yuck.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you go up to the Hinchinbrook region and you hear a boat yelling and yahooing and high-fiving and you go over, hey, what'd you catch? Oh, yeah, we
spot.
caught a, 29 centimetre, black spot cod.
Oh, fuck.
You know, because one of the blokes needed it for his 7th species, which gives him X amount of bonus points.
Yeah, righto.
You know, it can that cod could be the spot that jumps you. And
Yep.
yeah, it's shameful I am to say this. There's points for brim as well.
No.
Yeah. So
No, you're a southerner, man. It's fine.
I'm not that southern. I'm in South and in like South Australia, so we don't have brim. Thank goodness. So it's still not that bad.
Yeah, righto. Cool.
We let off a bunch of fireworks and stuff like that as well. It's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
righto. And big raft ups.
Yeah, big raft up. So the start of the competition, it's compulsory to dress up. So we have a dress up for the shotgun start. There's a prize.
Where do you leave from?
Depends on where the comp's held, either Cardwell end or Lucinda end.
Oh, it depends what time of year. What you
yep.
choose.
Yeah. So last year we had it at Lucinda. We had a bunch of the local residents come down, take a bunch of photos.
Yep.
You know, seeing people dressed as Kentucky Fried Chicken and Willem Powerfish and dressed as anything. You know, anything and everything.
Dressed as Willem Powerfish. That's
yeah,
fun,
yeah, I know. They were throwing whole chooks at everyone, which was great, I guess. But people are dressed up.
Yeah.
And we have prizes for that. And then the raft up party usually happens on the last day, so it's a 2-day competition.
Yep.
Usually happens mid-afternoon.
Yep.
It's not really, hasn't really ever been finalised, but it just sort of happens, I guess. It's one of them really weird and wonderful things that kind of just, you'll see a boat and you'll see another boat kind of sided up, rafted up next to them, and then, you have 2 boats sitting there. Next thing you know, you have 15 boats sitting there all tied together and sharing beef jerky and beer and
reminds me of the territory,
stories, man. And man, it's people just stop. It's not about the fishing. I find a lot of the guys just go up there because there's 100 or so just really good guys and gals that fish it, and people are just happy with that. There's no egos. It's not about winning or what you get or where you finish. No one, half of the guys I'm sure don't even check the scorecard.
Yeah,
it's just a get together, and people are just happy. A lot of the time, it's the only time these people get together.
Yep.
In a whole 12-month period, we have guys from Cairns, come to Townsville from Townsville and Mackay. We have people from interstate. We have people from southeast Queensland that come up. They fish all the comps down there, the flatty comps. They come up and fish it, and they're blown away with how.
Where do you stay? Do you stay all stay in one place? Is accommodation paid for and shit, or what's it?
Yeah. So we try and generally stay all in the one area.
So you pay a membership or whatever, or you pay registration, and then
it's registration based. So registration generally covers accommodation, it pays for your food as well, for your teas. So we supply tea on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. It supplies that. We run pretty lean. So we don't make any money out of it or anything like that. So all the money and everything gets donated, So you have all your local tackle companies supporting it.
Yep.
Local business companies, they all support it, and we hope that everyone that partakes in it, supports those companies that support the 4-pound comp. But yeah, it's growing. I'm not sure how many members we got. I'm like 2,500 members on Facebook and that now.
Yeah, righto, shit.
There's always a waiting list for the comp when we release it.
Yeah, wow.
If the spots fill within an hour.
Yeah, shit. So it's popular as, man.
Oh, apparently it's pretty hectic. It blows us away that this thing that these people just love it.
Oh, people get a hold of a good thing, man, and they run with it. It doesn't take long to get traction.
Yeah, that's what we're finding. So we're happy, man. Like it's a comp. It's a lot of guys that don't take it that seriously. Just get together and have a drink. They catch up with someone they haven't seen in 12 months. You know, and it's we'll get to stay together and have a few beers and have a social fish.
Yep.
But we do have pretty decent prizes like sounders and possibly boats next year. So.
That's unreal, man.
Yeah.
What's it like targeting big fish on 4 pound? So it's 4 pound unlimited leader, like unlimited leader size.
Unlimited, you can use whatever leader you want, but it can't be longer than the rod tip.
Makes sense.
So sorry, not the rod tip, but the length
the
of the rod.
Yeah.
So 4 pound braid, main line, and then
what's it like hooking good bars or jacks or stuff like that on 4 pound, man?
Oh, like anything, man, it's hectic. Yeah,
I know you mentioned it earlier on, but with the jacks and stuff, like.
I think if we've been running for 8 years, I think we might have had 2 years where someone hasn't caught a metre plus Barra.
Hasn't.
So I think there's been 6 or 7 metre. Well, a couple of years. There was 1 or 2 years we had 2 metre plus Barra money get caught. Plus we're talking metre plus.
So what do we talk? We're talking obviously just let them run for days, man, and just chase them around.
Man, this is going to probably stir some.
You can put a lot of hurt on 4 pound though.
This will probably stir some people up. But believe it or not, whether you want to choose to believe this or not, if you use 4 pound line, sometimes the fish doesn't go as hard back. It is so strange.
What?
I don't know. I can't explain it. You catch finger mark in open water. Sometimes, if you're using 50 pound braid, they will hurt you.
Because
you're putting hurt on them. And if you're using 4 pound, they don't go so hard. Sometimes, I'm not saying this is a.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's weird. I don't know, because you can't put so much hurt on them. They're probably not thinking there's that much stress, and all of a sudden they get knocked up fairly quickly. Come to the boat.
Yep.
I think the biggest we've had, Brett Rutt caught one. I think it was $1.15 or 16.
Yep.
On 4 pound braid.
Yeah, righto.
And he was hungover as shit, the poor bugger.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, he got it on the last day of comp. Hungover, shallow diver lure, boom, jumped on. I think his teammate caught a 55 centimetre fish.
Yeah.
And he caught like the $1.15 or $1.16.
That's
at
unreal.
the same time.
Yeah, shit.
And it's just been that's the biggest one to date.
Yeah, wow.
So take of it what you will. You can take it seriously if you want, but a lot of guys just see it as for what it is, and people die to get into it, and unfortunately we can't manage the growth as yet, but we're getting there.
It's only get bigger by the sounds of it, man.
Yeah. So you have to.
I'll have to put an application in. Fuck.
Yeah. I know a guy.
Whose dick you got to suck?
Mine. Someone's.
Fuck. Is it ugly?
What? Well, the top half's ugly. The bottom half's not bad.
Is it small but pretty?
Pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty small.
No, is it small? But I don't mind if it's as long as it's not big and ugly. Small and pretty's fine.
Not. Yeah, small and pretty. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Super important question. Chicken crimpies or pizza shapes? Chris needs to know this.
Dude, chicken crimpies, man.
You're fucked.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Chicken crimpies, dude, man.
Fucking pizza shapes, cunt.
I love them both, but the chicken crimpies are hands down, man.
People are off your fucking
What do you
heads.
mean? So you choose pizza shapes. Like, there's nothing wrong with pizza shapes, don't get me wrong.
Pizza shapes any day of the week.
What about barbecue?
Still pizza.
What?
Goes pizza, the pink ones.
Yeah.
The yellow ones. Barbecue, chicken crimpies.
You don't like chicken crimpies, do you?
No.
All right.
Oh, I don't not like them. They're all right.
Question
like
for you.
Yeah, what?
Cheese twisties or chicken twisties?
Chicken twisties.
See? Why do you like chicken crimpies?
Because they're not the same.
You're a fuck.
I'm leaving.
This interview is over.
It's fucking done, man. We are out.